Tonight on News 5 Live, attorney Oscar Salgado appears before the court where he is being tried for abetment to commit murder. Yemery Grove versus Laguna. Minister of Indigenous People says two wrongs don't make a right. And GOB has final authority over all lands. And weekend fires destroy a golf cart rental in San Pedro and a residence in Kaya Creek. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Number one caller. Number one caller. Hey, number one caller. You know why? Listen, hey, for the best post and prepaid. You know that smart got you back. For the best service coverage. All we know that smart got you back. Travel and connect everywhere. You know that smart got you back. Smart record that'll go a long, long way. All we know that smart got you back. Every caller is the number one caller with smart, bringing people together.
My Social Security. Your direct online access to all your Social Security information. 360 view of all your Social Security information. Registration services, benefits, contributions, and employer services at your fingertips. Enjoy all the new features with your My Social Security account. Register with SSB. Submission of benefit claims. Submission of contribution statements. View contribution record. Enjoy all your My Social Security feature at ssbportal.org.bz. Social Security at your fingertips.
Inspection first. Once the inspection passes, we do the connection for you.
Our teams at BEL continue to serve you.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double B-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Friday and Saturday. That's right, 2 times the B-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with B-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, B-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season only at Penny's. Quality and saving.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, October 3rd. I am Sabrina Daly. Attorney Oscar Salgado was charged back in July 2019 for the crime of abetment to commit murder. Salgado's trial began today inside the High Court. Back in 2019, he was accused of asking a client to carry out a hit for him. The client in this case was Giovanni Ramirez, a man who was charged back in 2018 by Dangriga police for possession of prohibited firearm and kept ammunition without a gun license. Ramirez reportedly handed over to police a recording of a conversation between himself and Salgado, detailing the request. That recording was reportedly being held by the Supreme Court Registrar as part of the evidence for this trial. This morning, the Registrar took the stand and explained that she handed over the case files to Justice Suzanne Lam in March 2022. She explained that in February 2023, she received instructions that the disc which contained the recording had gone missing. She testified saying it has not been located since. The woman that Salgado allegedly wanted dead is Marilyn Barnes. She was the first witness that the Director of Public Prosecution, Cheryl Vidal, called to the stand. Barnes testified saying that she filed a complaint to the General Legal Counsel against Salgado. She also asserted that she had visited the Ombudsman office to seek help with some matters at a time when Salgado was a legal representative in the office. Barnes contended that she had more than 5 appointments with Salgado, and during one of those appointments, she confronted him about the allegation of sexual assault of a minor against him. Former Ombudsman Lionel Arzu also took the stand and confirmed that there was an allegation of sexual assault against Salgado. The nature of the allegation was that Salgado assaulted a male minor who was interning in the office. Arzu further revealed that non-disclosure agreement was signed between Salgado and the parties involved. Shanidi Chel Urbina, the secretary at the General Legal Counsel at the time, also took the stand. She recalled receiving Barnes's complaint at the GLC office. She revealed that Barnes alleged that Salgado conducted himself in a way unethical, told mistruths, failed to produce, and legally damaged his client. Urbina told the court that the counsel ruled that there was a case to be heard and that hearing dates were set. But after numerous adjournments, Barnes says her complaints were never heard. Following today's hearing, Salgado approached reporters outside the courtroom and had this to say.
So what is it that the media want to ask me to comment upon a case? What is it that the media want to ask me to comment upon a case that is before the judge? To comment upon a case that is sub judice? I am not afraid of the media. I have nothing to hide. What I want you people to understand is to respect the privacy of citizens, respect my privacy, and I don't want to see you back at this court until the case is finished. When the case is finished, I will give you an interview and I'll tell you what I think. But as of now, I cannot comment, Sherlyn Vidal cannot comment, nobody can comment upon a case that is before the court. Learn your jobs. Do your job properly.
So we can be out here, sir.
We also heard from Senior Counsel Adolph Lucas Sr., the attorney representing Salgado. Lucas says all the evidence that the Director of Public Prosecution has led up to this point are secondary and insignificant to the substantive matter. He gave us further details of today's proceedings.
The prosecution who opened the case and they called witnesses just to prove that Salgado, to prove part of the case. Yeah. And when the prosecution Crown, I would say, close its case, then we'll open. Then it's for us now to open our defense.
Would you be able to comment any at all on the sort of witnesses that the prosecution is leading and the sort of evidence that they're leading?
No, the evidence that they brought in is just so, to my mind, one is that the exhibit missing. The other one, that Giovanni is charged for prohibited firearm and ammunition. And but it is still peripheral. Yeah. Where I'm concerned, where the evidence is concerned.
Sir, can you explain this aspect of the voir dire?
Voir dire means trial within a trial. They're going to bring in one witness to show that Giovanni Ramirez supposed to be unfair to come to court. If the judge rules that he is fair to come to court, they're going to read his statement. But Mr. Salgado will have that opportunity to give evidence too in that void.
And then would you be able to speak about the aspects relating to the missing documents and how that fits into the main case?
Or it would seem that the two policemen were going to say that they hear. Oh, is it not the file, you know? Sorry for that if I did say the file. It is a recording, the disc. So if it is found that the disc, are missing, which supposed to have what Ramirez said to them in his statement. Because he, according to him, he made record of what he and Salgado conversed about. So if they don't find that, two policemen are going to say that they have looked at the recording because they made a disclosure. But that would be another matter for the defense.
Finally, what I'm gathering from you is that you're saying at this point all evidence that are being led, all witnesses, it's all periphery and there's nothing at this point.
Substantive, where I'm concerned, yes, nothing substantive. So that's good, so that they can show all the aspects of their case, but nothing solid as yet.
Earlier today, 28-year-old Aaron Flowers was acquitted of the offense of aggravated assault with a firearm upon a woman. The businessman of the Lord's Bank area is no stranger to the law, and over the weekend he was detained of an old incident that occurred in mid-September, where he allegedly pulled a firearm on a woman. He appeared unrepresented today before a senior magistrate and was read a single charge related to the alleged offense against Kimari Garbut. But when Garbut showed up to court and took the stand, she requested no further action against Flowers. With that, he was free to go. 32-year-old Stanwell Bernardez, a construction worker of Antelope Street Extension, was read a single charge today when he appeared before the chief magistrate. Bernardez was arraigned earlier today on a charge of going equipped. That's after he was found in possession of a pair of 9-inch pliers and a small screwdriver. It is alleged that on October 1st, Franklin was busted by police at the Muslim Community School on Central American Boulevard with these tools that are often used in committing a burglary. In court, Franklin pleaded not guilty to the charge. However, the prosecutor objected to bail on the grounds that he is a well-known offender who has an outstanding fine of $4,275. The records show that he has made no effort to pay the balance. While the chief magistrate informed Franklin that she could not consider granting him bail due to the huge sum he owes the court, he promised to pay the fine in full by December 4th. He was then offered bail in the sum of $1,000 plus one surety of the same amount, which he was unable to meet by day's end. He has since been remanded to the Belize Central Prison until December 4th. Coming up, Will Mejia fears that land dispute will further escalate. We'll have more details when we come back.
Hello friends, I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "But I keep unto my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway." I remember hearing Vance Havner, when he was 91 years of age, preach on the subject of getting home before dark. He told of how, as a boy living in the country, that on Saturday after completing all of his chores, he would often go to town. As he was leaving, his father would always say, "Son, make sure you get home before dark." In those days, it was not always safe to travel after dark. He related that now, as he was getting older, that his constant prayer was, Lord, help me to get home before dark. Help me to get home before in my older years I do something foolishly that will cancel out all the good I have done. The Apostle Paul sought to live a life of discipline and self-control, lest he become a castaway and disqualified for service. May God help us to follow his example in getting home before dark. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Enjoy more of your favorite social media platforms with Digi's new prepaid social media plans. Experience social connectivity like never before. Choose from 3 amazing plans starting as low as $3.50. With up to 4 times more any use data and tons of social media data in each plan, you get more value for your money. Only with Digi can you enjoy unlimited social media access with the Social Pro plan. Prepaid mobile customers, it's time to be social. Like more, chat more, and post more. Dial star 700# to purchase, or purchase from your Digi wallet or visit the DigiGo app. Try Digi's new social media data plans today. Digi, our national telecom.
On Sunday morning, tensions escalated between residents from the neighboring villages of Laguna and Yemery Grove in southern Belize. For some time now, there has been a land dispute between both villages, and this is due to the lack of the delimitation of boundaries. The residents of Yemery Grove are saying that Laguna is being allowed to expand into the area of dispute, and so they went out to clear parcels of land as well. This is despite an announcement back in May that any activities in the area were to cease and desist. Today, News 5 got an interview with Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Dolores Balderramos Garcia, who says that what happened over the weekend is unfortunate, but 2 wrongs don't make a right.
If the Laguna people, the Maya people of Laguna, are continuing, as he puts it, to expand, then he and his people can't sit idly by. No, the correct thing to have done, and please, I'm going to address both sides of this situation because government cannot take sides and we have to be very fair and reasonable. But let me say this. If you have a problem in thinking that one side is not complying with the request of government not to be expanding in any way or carrying on activities in an area that may be disputed, then the correct thing to do. So the correct thing to do is for Mr. Usher and his people to engage with government, to report to us, and we will send the relevant authorities to Toledo and to the vicinity of those villages to see what is happening. Now, on the other side of the equation, I want to make this abundantly clear. The government of Belize, myself and my ministry, we are not upholding the Maya people to make any kind of movement or expansion in an area that may be disputed. And the people of Laguna are well aware that there is some dispute in that area. So both sides need to give the government an opportunity to get in there on the ground, see what is happening, and then we will take action from there. Now, the delimitation of boundaries is something that needs to be done in the Toledo district, and that won't be done overnight. We will have to look at all the parties. We'll have to look at Maya communal land and the claims that can be made thereunder. But in any event, the boundary of a particular village, whether it be San Felipe, whether it be San Benito Poite, whether it be Laguna, those boundaries would have to be set in consultation with the government and based on the village, in their village meeting, saying, okay, we would like to claim X, Y, and Z. So until that is done, again, we cannot uphold any party to be making claims that cannot be actually specified.
Minister Dolores Balderramos Garcia reaffirms that the ruling of the Caribbean Court of Justice recognizes Maya communal and customary land tenure, but says that the recognition does not mean that the Maya people can claim the whole of the Toledo district. She says that it is one country. We are all Belizeans, and GOB has final authority over all land.
Just absolutely does not work like that. And I need to make it abundantly clear that the government of Belize will not allow any kind of separation of our country, any kind of reservations, in the North American sense of the word. That is not going to happen. But parties, everybody, all sides, need to bear patience and need to allow the government to consult properly to put in place the Maya customary land tenure policy, and thereafter to move towards legislation that can balance competing interests. I have said this from day one. We will have to make a balance of sometimes competing interests. I also want to mention that there is no need to stoke up any kind of ethnic division in our country. We are all Belizeans, and I do not appreciate, and the government of Belize will not appreciate nor tolerate, the stirring up of tensions based on ethnicity. Again, we respect indigenous rights of people, including Garifuna people and Maya people, but we reject the attitude that the whole of the Toledo district is owned by one ethnic group. That is absolutely not so. There will be delimitation of boundaries in consultation with all parties, all interested parties. But in the meantime, we have to ask everyone to respect the laws of Belize, and you can go to the ruling of the Caribbean Court of Justice, which says that the authority of the government of Belize over all land in this country is held by the government. The authority, I repeat, the authority over all land in Belize is held by the government.
Today, Will Mejia of the Belize Progressive Party issued a release on the boundary demarcation for Laguna and Yemery Grove villages in southern Belize. In his release, he implores GOB to act with urgency and due diligence to resolve the boundary dispute. Mejia says that the former administration, quote, failed to demarcate the boundary lines between these two villages, unquote. Tensions are escalating, and Mejia fears that someone will get injured if it is not resolved sooner rather than later.
The Belize Progressive Party believe that the government have dropped the ball in dealing with this issue. We know that they inherited this issue from the UDP administration, who refused to do anything at that time. So we would expect that this government would make this a priority, since tensions are so high in these villages. I mean, this is only two villages, but there are other villages where tensions are also high. So we are calling on the government of Belize to immediately address this issue. We are a small country, and we are a peaceful country with many cultures. We brag about the different ethnic groups living in harmony with each other. And because of neglect, in our opinion, the government have refused to address the issue, and it's getting to the point where someone may die. We don't want that to happen. On Sunday, machetes was out there, dangerous. There was, we didn't see it, but we heard that people had arms out there, and it continues to escalate. This is not the first time these two villages went at it. We call on both villages to try and show some constraint and respect for each other. Those are absolutely not the only two villages. You have the explosive situation between Midway and Barranco, two different ethnic groups again. Then you have this situation between San Jose and San Antonio, and a lot of different villages. These things, as villages grow, the demand for land grow, and these things need to be addressed.
Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Dolores Balderramos Garcia, says that GOB is doing everything in its power to ensure that the situation does not escalate. While asking for either party not to take the law into its hands, Minister Balderramos Garcia also confirmed that during today's cabinet meeting, the Minister of Natural Resources, Cordell Hyde, has indicated that his ministry will be working towards addressing the issue. But are there racial attacks happening?
Let us be prudent. Let us be respectful. Let us not take the law into our hand. And let us make sure that we respect everybody. We absolutely must respect everybody. It makes no sense for Belizeans to be throwing insult at any other Belizean. And I am now referring to our Commissioner of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Mr. Greg Chuck. He has been subject to ethnic and racial taunts. Absolutely unnecessary. We are all Belizean, every single one of us. And this government will always stand on the side of the rights of every single Belizean. If it is the impression that we are favoring the Maya people, I want to dispel that once and for all. We are doing a job in balancing very difficult competing interests, but we will not put the rights of one set of Belizeans over the rights of any other Belizean. And every Belizean has the right to live, whether it is from the Rio Hondo to the Sarstone or from Half Moon Key to Arenal. And so I want to say once more to everybody concerned, let us be respectful of one another. If you have a problem, report it to the authorities. We will take action. And we are asking once again, Maya people of Laguna, Yemery Grove people, if there are difficulties, please report it.
Minister Balderramos Garcia says that a meeting is scheduled for later this week with both parties. After the break, a flashback to the first Creole museum in Belize City. We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Dengue and Zika alert. Do your part by preventing mosquito breeding. The Ministry of Health reminds the public that as we enter the rainy season, be aware of the dangers of dengue, chikungunya, and Zika. These are infectious diseases that are transmitted by the bite of Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes. These mosquitoes are most active in early morning and late afternoon. Activities that should be done to prevent dengue and Zika include: avoid having containers that can collect water in your yard. Cover water storage containers such as drums. Change the water in flower pots every 4 or 5 days. These are ideal breeding sites for the mosquito. With the elimination of breeding sites in and around the yard, dengue and Zika can be avoided. Dengue and Zika begin with sudden onset of high fever. Other signs and symptoms include rash, joint pain, eye pain. If you are pregnant or planning to become pregnant, we advise you to visit your nearest health facility. The public is also encouraged to use mosquito repellent spray or lotion on the body or clothing. Do your part by preventing mosquito breeding.
Babe, have you seen the advisory that NEMA just posted? There's going to be a storm.
Storm? It's not a storm. That's just a little rain. We'll be all right.
Thank goodness that was only a simulation. But what if it wasn't? Consider this. You've worked hard building your future, your family, your business, your home. RF&G Insurance has policy options that can protect your most valued assets so that you can focus on what matters most. Include RF&G Insurance in your hurricane prep. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
Number one caller. Number one caller. Hey, number one caller. You know why? Listen, hey, for the best post and prepaid. You know that smart got you back. For the best service coverage. All we know that smart got you back. Travel and connect everywhere. You know that smart got you back. Smart record that'll go a long, long way. All we know that smart got you back. Ah, do ya, babe. Let's go. Do ya, babe. Every caller is the number one caller with smart, bringing people together.
In tonight's episode of Culture Tuesday, we take you down memory lane to a time when a Creole museum was established here in Belize City. The place where the Creole culture was preserved was founded in 2006 by Sharon Pitts Robertou and captured the essence of Creole life in a domestic setting that many can relate to. Here's that flashback story. The Creole Museum is a first of its kind. The building, which is the former residence of Methodist ministers, dates back to the 1940s and has been renovated to exhibit a traditional Creole family setting. From the time you step into the parlor, your attention is quickly drawn to the design and decor that, according to museum founder Sharon Pitts Robertou, will bring back fond memories of a less stressful era.
You feel welcome because, like I say, well, come in and me may come, no? But you see the bright green and pink marlin.
The pair of mahogany sitting chairs, settee and other furnishings are inviting as you're drawn into a favorite pastime of the Creole culture.
You know, Creole people, we like people visit, you know, and even if they don't run one errand or compound business, before you get to it, it's considered rude if you don't have one leave. I know I call it chit-chat, you know, because we Creole good for do that shush. And another way to put it, that chook mouth, talk, I like talk, right?
In those days, Belizean families used phonographs and tube-type radios, not iPods and DVDs.
It used to bring the community together, you know, because people that are gathered sometimes who had radio, you know, and then they listen to boxing pan. If they in somebody living room or close to the street and like people peeping and so. As according to where I hear from a man who used to work with the phone company, you know, and another old man. That phone there, he had a handle to the right. And when you want to ring Flowers Bank, that may like too long and so short. Then you see the phonograph, right? And people used to have to wind it. You used to have to work for your music, you know. And the old turntable part of it, right?
The crockery includes everything from a 100-year-old dish to a metal and glass water jug, teapots and calabash container. In the bedroom, this 4-post mahogany canopy bed is over 200 years. It still includes the key used to take down the furniture. At the foot of the bed lies a quilt that dates back to 1961, following a rescue mission during Hurricane Hattie.
That quilt contributed by a lady who got it, she was stranded up Belize River, I think Scotland area, at Hurricane Hattie, you know, and the relief helicopter came and dropped supplies, including that quilt, right? Notice at the top of the bed we have a mosquito netting, right? Okay, you know how we go. We want a breeze, but the flies come in, right?
In an area referred to as the breezeway, on your way into the kitchen, there lies an array of tools Creole men would use to earn a living, like this 2-man saw that was used to cut mahogany trees and make pit pandories. This large round wooden basin was not only used to take a bath, but to do laundry that took as long as 1 week to sort, bleach, soak, dry, and iron.
But you have a Creole thing when somebody want to boast that they get the better of somebody in a quarrel, and I say, well, when I done leather she, wash she, rinse she, and hang she out for dry, no? Okay? So we have that way, and the anecdotes and way of talking go back to the very occupation, the livelihood.
The museum and gallery represent what life was like in most Creole homes between 1940s and the early part of the 1970s. Pitts Roberto says the entire experience has been overwhelming, but very positive.
I never know people are turn up and interested, but there have been a lot of interviews and interest. Professional people come by, young people. The neighbors in this area now, we have people send over plant, people come voluntarily time to help with the yard, and they talk about the building history, and then they give away insight about items, and the community support has been, tremendous.
When we return, Expo Marketplace 2023 officially wraps up.
We all have dreams that we are chasing, goals we're striving for, and loved ones we want to provide for. There is one thing that can provide you with a sense of security and empowerment. That is planning for the future and starting to save. Just as a tree starts as a seed and grows with time, your savings will grow. It's never too early or too late to take that crucial step towards securing your future. Saving is not just about putting money aside. It's a promise to yourself and your loved ones that you are taking control of your destiny. It all begins with a plan and the commitment to save, no matter how big or how small. Educate yourself about different savings options to help you achieve your plans. Remember, no matter where you are on your journey, the key is to start. Every step you take towards planning and saving is a step towards empowerment and peace of mind. Talk to your loved ones about your goals and dreams. Create a roadmap for a brighter future. That tree you planted now provides shade and shelter for your dreams. Embrace the power of planning for your future and starting to save. Your dreams are waiting, and your journey to a brighter tomorrow begins today. Plan today, save for tomorrow.
A message from the Central Bank of Belize. For more information, visit our website at centralbank.org.bz.
Inspection first. Once the inspection passes, we do the connection for you.
Our teams at BEL continue to serve you.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
At NextGen, we work for you. Our customer care department is the backbone in delivering a superior customer service.
You deserve the best personal assistance every time, and that's exactly what we pride ourselves on providing.
Our agents are readily available to assist you anytime you need us.
We understand your time is valuable, which is why we're always here to help you quickly and efficiently.
When you speak, we listen.
With us on the ground and in the field, we are fully equipped to serve you in any capacity.
Let us help you continue to do what you do best.
We are always improving to provide you with fast response time and technical support.
Our team is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service and care to all our customers.
Thank you for choosing NextGen as your trusted service provider.
Preparations are already underway for the 2024 Expo Marketplace, organized annually by the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The tentative date is for September 13th and 14th of next year. But today, the team over at BCCI returned to the Marion Jones Sporting Complex to issue awards and officially conclude this year's Expo activities. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
An awards ceremony was held at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex to mark the conclusion of the Expo Marketplace 2023. The stadium was the location for the Expo held on September 16th and 17th. Among the awards were 4 categories for the best booth.
In the beginning stages of the Expo, it's a lot of planning that goes into it, along with our membership and the businesses who participate. And then in the middle, it kind of becomes more about the public and delivering a good experience to visitors. So this is our way of returning that attention back to our membership and to participants who were at the Expo. We had our booth awards, best booth awards given out today. We had the best overall booth, the most outstanding youth entrepreneur, the best micro booth, and then we had a favorite booth category, which was the People's Choice. They voted for that through our digital map. So basically, we try to give them perks in terms of our membership. So 2 of the 4 will be receiving complimentary membership with the Chamber for 2024. They will be receiving a discount on their booths for the Christmas extravaganza and for the upcoming Expo in 2024 as well.
There were 28 gate prizes that were up for grabs this year, including a 15-inch laptop courtesy of Fulltech Systems. Over 11,000 visitors attended the Expo, which was held for a 3rd consecutive year at the same venue. And so visitor experience is top on the list of priorities.
Sure, we get tons of feedback. We have a direct line with all the businesses who participate, and then of course, visitors will pull you aside and tell you what they think of the event during the event, and then you'll see posts and messages. It's grown, definitely. That's the reason for bringing it to the Marion Jones, because we could not hold the amount of participants at the IT vet anymore. It just was not manageable. But here gives us a little bit more leverage. What people don't know is that we cap the participation every year at 200 booths. We try to cap it there, but we always go above. This year we had I think we had about 207, it's either 207 or 209 booths in total around the grounds. So this is a way for us to try to accommodate everyone. We don't like to turn away anyone, even though sometimes we have to. But the feedback was good. The overall consensus of the participants in our group chat was that they made a lot of sales, they met a lot of people, and they made a lot of connections.
Plans have already commenced for the Expo Marketplace 2024, but BCCI's PR manager Corey Lester says look out for the Christmas extravaganza on December 3rd, when visitors will be able to enjoy great deals just in time for the holidays.
It's another annual thing that we do that people look forward to. It's early in December, so that for those who are Christmas shopping at the time, they can get great deals out there as well. They can find all kind of, and it's all Belizean made. That's the best part about it. Local entrepreneurs displaying their talents, displaying their wares, displaying their services, and it's something to look forward to. So that's our next chapter. We've already started planning. We've already started collaborating with partners.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
As we reported on Monday, there are different types of charging ports for electric vehicles, depending on the type of vehicle. And there are 3 different levels of charging ports as well, depending on the type of vehicle you buy, as well as the overall health and condition of its battery. A level 3 charging port, as BEL's Market Research and Innovation Officer Selene Solis shared with us, is the equivalent of a fast charger for a cell phone. Solis explains the difference between the 3 types of charging ports and what you can expect from each one.
There are different types of charging for electric vehicle. A level 1 charge is the slowest charge. That's the charge that your vehicle comes with that you plug in. It can take anywhere from 20 hours beyond, depending on the vehicle, to charge within a level 1 charger. At BEL, we have been focused on faster charging because we know that is what the public expects, right? So level 2 charging, which is we are installing 9 of those locations. Level 2 charging can charge an electric vehicle from anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. So if you consider that, those locations will look at like businesses where employees go and spend all day, at restaurant areas, business districts where there's a lot to do in the area, so there's time to charge in that space. Keeping in mind that most electric vehicle owners will be charging at home primarily, and public charging is to supplement their home charging.
So you don't have to fully charge, you can charge for an hour or 2.
What you need and then move on, exactly. And then the fastest charging, which is the one you asked about, which is what is behind me, level 3 charging. We have 3 locations for level 3 rapid charging in Belize. This is the fastest in charging technology available globally, and so we have 3. One here at our BL headquarters, and on this machine an electric vehicle can charge anywhere from as little as 30 minutes to as much as an hour and 15 minutes, depending on the type of vehicle, depending on the health of your battery, depending on various factors that will influence charging time.
And while you'll need to know which charger port is compatible with your electric vehicle, when you decide to invest in that ride, Celeste also offered consolation in the cost of operating electric vehicles. She said that the cost of fully recharging your ride is expected to cost far less than the fuel you're spending to fill up at the pumps. Currently, she explained that there's an average charge per kilowatt hour equivalent to what we pay for residential consumption.
Currently, we are applying a rate of 40 cents, which is just about the residential rate per kilowatt hour consumption. That's 39 something cents. So I'm rounding up to 40 cents, right? We have submitted a proposal to the PUC for a new charging tariff. That information is available on the PUC's website for public consultation. I believe the rate that we have proposed is 37 cents per kilowatt hour per charge. Right? So right now, as I mentioned, we're applying the residential rate per kilowatt hour, which is about 39 something cents, 40 cents if you're rounding up.
Okay. And then for a fully charged vehicle, that can last you how long, can you say?
That really depends on the make, the model, the range, the type of vehicle that you have, the battery health. So newer electric vehicles come with a range of anywhere from 200 to 300 and some up to 400 miles per full charge. So what that translates to, if you can imagine, depending on the vehicle, again, you'd be spending anywhere from as little as $30, $40, as much as $50 for 200 to 300 miles of range. So the cost savings when you compare it to the cost of fuel per gallon, which I believe went up last week or the week before, right? Is astronomical when you compare the amount of mileage that you will get from an electric vehicle to the cost compared to the fuel cost.
Then again, newer vehicles will give you more and cost less.
That is the expectation, yes.
Up next, weekend fire on La Isla Bonita destroys golf cart rental company.
Every year, World Environment Day is celebrated on June 5, and the Department of the Environment, within the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management, joins the nation of Belize and other United Nations member countries in worldwide awareness and action to protect our environment, with this year's theme being to beat plastic pollution. We have seen the effects of climate change, now exacerbated by the effects of plastic pollution, primarily from single-use plastics. The Ministry, through the auspices of the Department of the Environment, has enacted the pollution from plastics regulation in 2020, noting that single-use plastics is of high environmental concern. This regulation sought to curb the environmental impacts associated with single-use plastics and to better promote green alternatives, which resulted in the development of national standards for biodegradable products.
The government of Belize, through the Department of Environment, has been controlling and enforcing these regulations to ensure that we protect Belize from the threats of plastic pollution. In so doing, nationwide market surveillance and product sampling has been conducted, resulting in enforcement actions which includes sale prohibition and confiscation of single-use plastics and styrofoam. The detrimental environmental impacts of single-use plastics are everyone's concern. The government calls upon all businesses, industries, civil societies, NGOs, and you, the citizens of Belize, to have civic pride and to help in the fight against plastic pollution and to further contribute to the national efforts in transitioning to a circular economy. Together, we can beat plastic pollution. Happy World Environment Day.
up for Smart's Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double P-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Friday and Saturday. That's right, 2 times the P-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with P-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, P-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season only at Penny's. Quality and saving.
An overnight fire in San Pedro during the wee small hours of Saturday destroyed a structure including an office, a garage, as well as 20 golf carts belonging to Roadrunner Rentals. It's a significant loss for the proprietor, a Lebanese businessman who operates the rental company on the island town. Contrary to what has been published elsewhere in the media, the National Fire Service is yet to determine the cause of the fire, as well as the value of damages to the property. Earlier today, Station Officer Kenneth Mortiz shared additional details of the incident with reporters here in Belize City.
Saturday morning, in the early hours of about 2 a.m., the San Pedro Fire Department was alerted and informed of a fire in progress on the north side of the island, whereby a structure and alleged golf carts were on fire. We arrived at that location and we observed what was the structure being housed at the time by Mr. Aban and his wife, Miss Yvette, 29 and 30 years old respectively. Fire being concentrated in the structure that this couple was occupying, and it consumed 1 of 20 operational golf carts. The fire was extinguished, preventing further damage. However, unfortunately, at this current time, the cause of the fire has not been determined as yet, and we are hoping that at least by the end of today, our San Pedro counterparts can actually relate to us what caused this fire. It has not been confirmed if the building was insured, and we are hoping that we can ascertain that as well.
Is there a value that has been determined thus far in terms of the extent of losses, financial extent?
At the moment, that hasn't been determined as yet. Prematurely, we were told that it was somewhere around $1 million. However, like I said, we need confirmation on that figure.
Are there any indications that it could have been an arson?
It's too early to tell. The area have been investigated thoroughly. We haven't found anything conclusive to support such. Again, this is only premature information that we've received. Allegations is that it has to do with an electrical flaw. We send out assistance for Mr. Smith to aid in concluding this fire. And I'm hoping, again, I can only say that by the end of today, we're hoping we can conclude the cause.
At midday on Sunday, personnel from the National Fire Service, a team of firemen stationed in Benque Viejo town, responded to a house fire in Kaya Creek village. By the time they arrived on the scene, residents had already put out the fire. The homeowners were lucky to have been able to stem the spread of the blaze and save the rest of the structure from going up in smoke. Here's more from Station Officer Kenneth Mortiz.
Sunday afternoon, just between the lunch hours of 12:30 and 12:35, the Benque fire team was alerted of a fire in progress in the Kala Creek village. When our team arrived on that location, we observed what was a 25 by 24 concrete structure with zinc roofing that had sustained fire damage to one of the rooms and the kitchen area primarily. We didn't see a fire as the fire had been extinguished by neighbors and occupants of that structure. But what we learned was that the fire started as a result of a butane cylinder that had fallen from its standing point, and once it fell, it ruptured the butane line. Seeing that the stove was active and actually cooking Sunday afternoon lunch, the open flames combined with the emitting of the butane fumes ignited that fire. Fortunately for that family, the entire building wasn't destroyed, so they could have almost commenced cleanup phase right away and try to resume themselves to a sense of normalcy. The fire unfortunately spread to a vehicle that was nearby. It has been concluded that financial damage to both vehicle and structure at the time was between $4,000 to $5,000 Belize.
Near the end of each year, the Belize Crime Observatory, an arm of the Belize Police Department, shares statistics that reflect the crime rate in different categories for that particular year. The information usually paints a picture as to how grim the previous year was in terms of murders, sexual offenses, home invasions, robberies, and burglaries. But zeroing in on the murders, while the department has been able to make arrests for many of the homicides, quite a few have also gone unsolved. Over the years, there have been several murders that have become cold cases, simply because the police have had no new clues that led them to make an arrest. In the following story, News 5's Marian Ali takes a look at a few of the murders that have gone unsolved, leaving families still hoping for some type of justice for their lost loved ones.
It's been a few years, almost 5, since the January 26, 1919 murder of Michael Alexander Williams, a businessman and son of pepper sauce connoisseur Marie Sharp. The 58-year-old general manager was shot dead as he parked his vehicle on North Front Street to let his girlfriend out. All that was gathered at the time was that 2 men approached Williams, and one of them pulled out a handgun and shot him. Since then, the investigation has gone cold. Today, Williams' youngest son, Patrick, revisited the incident with us.
Up to this point, we don't have anyone as yet. No one was charged, and the case has gone silent. I have a lot of people ask me the same question time and time again, and I'm sorry to say that there's just no one has been charged as yet.
While the Williams and Sharp families still hope for an arrest for the crime, they have been able to cope with their loss over time. A mother whose son was stabbed to death less than 2 months ago has an ever fresher wound and difficulty coping with her loss. Janet Lopez lost her son, 15-year-old Nigel Ferguson, described as a boy with special needs, in the latter part of August of this year. Lopez told News 5 Today that she still has difficulty falling asleep because of the pain she endures, knowing her son's killer is still roaming the streets.
No kind of update I got back the station the 13th of September to follow up on my son's case, and they don't really tell me nothing. They tell me about 11 to 12 people involved, but nobody no get arrested. I hope for some kind of justice, you know. Because I even got an ombudsman office, so I had to wait back for answer from there and see what will be the outcome of my son's case, no.
But Janet Lopez and Patrick Williams are only two persons who have been waiting for some kind of justice for the murder of their loved ones. They represent many more who are still hoping in silence that someday their loved ones' killers could be made to pay for the crimes they committed. There's also the family of James Gordon, who was gunned down mercilessly on the evening of Wednesday, September 15th, 2021, as he arrived at a residence on Main Avenue to collect monies that had been owed to him. And the family of the former owner of Skydeck, Ernesto Williams, who was executed on the night of Friday, January 24th, 2020, as he headed to his vehicle that was parked on Orange Street. There were other heinous unsolved murders that have spanned almost or over a decade, such as the 4 men who were found murdered in a house on George Street on January 8, 2013. There's also the murder of slain businessman Alfred Chacron, who was shot dead on the morning of October 24, 2012, in front of Body 2000 Gym on Coney Drive. And who can forget the callous rape and murders of several girls whose bodies were later found with severed limbs days after they went missing between 1998 and 2000. While their families have had to cope with their loss over time, they've probably lost all hope that they will ever get justice. This is also a sentiment that even Patrick Williams and Janet Lopez share in common.
I'm disappointed in the system because they don't push no effort on it. But no could tell me 11 to 12 people and say involved in my son, but no kind of arrest.
My real disappointment would be in in the community, you know, like if you have cameras and people are afraid of giving up their recordings because they don't want anything to follow them, and that's my disappointment. But if we stand up as a community, maybe we can help the police solve the crimes and it would ease down the crimes around the country. People ask about the situation, if it's been solved and thing. It does bring me down a bit and gets me back into the thought of it, but I just try to move on.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5police.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.